65 Days of Awesome. Celebrate success through service. And my name is Tamara Hunter. Today, we are celebrating a service hero. We have today Terrie Christine. She was nominated by Andrea Adams Miller. And as I have got to know this woman, I was on the phone with her today, and I will tell you, I had tears in my eyes because of the service that she is giving today during the events that are taking place. Someday in the future, you'll look back on this date, April the 26th, 2020, and this story will be relevant, and you will understand why I was emotionally affected by this amazing woman. So I want to say thank you for being with us today, Terrie, and thank you for being the service hero that you are. So, and as we get going, I just want to recognize as people come in, and my ambassador for our community, her name is Helene Wilson. She is here with us right now. And Helene, thank you for being with us. And she actually is wonderful because she greets everyone as they come in to the show. And so thank you for your service, Helene, and being with us today. And as others come in, remind them, Helene, if you wouldn't mind, to hashtag live, hashtag replay. Just you do it and they will too. All right, so let's talk. You are professionally, before all of this happened, you are a speaker, you are an author, you are a podcast host, you have done a number of radio shows. I mean, you talk about, being out there. You have been out there because you have a gift. You have a gift. And your gift is that you're an intuitive, right?
Yes, I'm an intuitive energy healer and psychic medium.
That's quite the gift. And I want to recognize this as we have some of our buddies coming in. Andrea, I'm happy that you're here with us. Now, we have a couple of Andreas that will be here with us. And so don't get too confused when I say, I may say Andrea M or Andrea A. There we go. How's that? And then we have Christine is she's Terrie Christine. You're on top of it, Helene.
She is.
She is. Okay, so an intuitive life coach.
Well, energy healer and
energy healer, and you also read people's energy, and you're able to do so much. I mean, as I was learning all of the things that you do, and you, I mean, people fly you to where they need you to heal them. You're involved in you're guest and one of the VIP if you will, presence at all up and down the East Coast, and you have clients throughout the world. You were telling me yesterday you were on the phone with someone from
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria. I was going to say it, and I thought, I questioned myself for a minute. I shouldn't have, but Bulgaria. Now, okay, so you've been doing this for a few days, right?
So my practice has been a little over 13 years. And the service I've been doing has been right about a month. But as an intuitive energy healer, it's a combination of quite a few things. I like to be it all, know it all, have it all, see it all, love it all. When we're at a party, don't we want to be around the person who appears to have it all together, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like I wanted to be that person. So the combination of superpowers that I connect to energy. There is no time and space with energy, and that's why I have clients all over the world. And so I specialize in clearing the subconscious, the limiting beliefs within the subconscious that people feel like they're stuck, can't get over a past relationship, or living in lack and they don't know why they can't attract what they want. And so I help them to clear those things that are keeping them from, and then we can go on with that list. It's pretty endless. And so when I'm working with my clients, no matter where you are, I'm not talk therapy, so you don't have to tell me your story. I simply need to know your first name, and that's it. And then I'll connect your energy I'll tell you how old you were when you created this limiting belief, by whom, and the story behind it. Because when I close my eyes, I will actually see a movie in my head. And then that movie helps me interpret the strongest limiting belief within currently that's present. Now we have thousands and hundreds of limiting beliefs, sometimes just by one experience. And so I'll help shift it from the subconscious so people can have more abundance, more free flow, more ease, more grace, more fun in their life, and feel like life is with them, not against them.
You know, okay, I have to say here a couple of things. I love your images. And so as you were talking, I'm like, I just had to bring them up because they're fun. But, you know, as you were talking about, you know, like past relationships or this or that, and you like to have fun, you're the person at the party. And I'm thinking, okay, love stinks, clear the air. I was busting up as I'm looking at this stuff. I'm like, she has a sense of humor too. I love her. And then, you know, unleashing magical moments. And it looks like, you know, fairy dust is on its way out of some kind of a magic wand. And I'm thinking, you know, that is genius when it comes to being, because you're an entrepreneur too. I mean, you know, you have a business, and you gotta treat it as one. And I want to recognize something because it's really interesting, very interesting. It's like, wow, I love it. I was putting it out there for this woman, Joy Cooper Willett, to show up, and guess who's here?
Here she is.
I'm like, Joy, not a surprise. You know, you know, it's never ceases to amaze me the power that is ours if we really truly believe. Skip Thomas, I want to say thank you for being with us, superheroes. Well, there you go. There you go. You know, and by the time, also Hermila, another one. Oh, all of them are showing up. Nice. All of our friends that should be here right now to talk about what it is and who it is that you are. Because, okay, we were talking before we went live, and I want to go here, and then I want to go into what you've been doing for the times that we're in, because that's where the tears came. Guys, this is good stuff we're talking about now. Truly good stuff. But wait, you will want to hang around to hear what it is that she's been doing, because I mean, literally still all of me just gets really just joyful and grateful and humbled by what it is that you're doing, that I don't know that you see it. You know, it's how those that understand, because they've been on one side of the service, understands how important it is, where those that are performing it, it's an act of service, but it might be seen a little differently, and that's where energy, right? And so, but Hermila, thank you for being here. Rachel Johnson, wonderful to have you with us. And okay, so when we were talking about the here and now, before and then after. So we're going into the before. You know, and I'm just going to bring up a few images because, you know, as I was trying to really figure it out, you do all of these events, readings, you know, anything that really has to do with. Now, no one take this wrong, but we finally say science and woo-woo. And it's not that it's woo-woo, and that's the thing. But you have a sense of humor, and so, you know, I'm just bringing it up because, you know, we're going to dispel the fact that it's woo-woo, because we were talking about that you found science to back it up. Science to back it up. So let's talk about that. That was before, and then we're going to go into post-COVID, and then we'll get into the meat of the matter of your service hero, why you were nominated. So the fact that you found this science, why don't you talk about what you found, because it's so significant for those that are here with us right now.
Yeah, so there's quite a few things. I didn't even share this with you, I was recently on a research panel to confirm well, it was a grant through NIH, which is National Institute of Health, and University of Maryland, because I am in the metropolitan DC area. And so the psychological training, or the department of the University of Maryland, got a grant from NIH to do some research on schizophrenic people and psychics.
Really?
Yes, I just completed the research.
Wow.
I was on the psychic side, so I wanted to clarify that one.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, no questions now. Okay, we've clarified that. Okay.
So what they wanted to prove is that, here you have schizophrenic people that hear voices and it troubles them. And then you have psychics or energy healers that hear and they thrive and create businesses from it. And so they wanted to they monitor the brain. I had EKGs, EEGs. I had quite a few scientific, medical tests done on me while I was in the middle of channeling or providing messages, and they were reading my brain. I won't know the end result because it's going to be used while they're having workshops and, science meetings, things like that. But, research and the sciences are really opening up to the work that I do and other energy type people, and to help everyone understand that it's not a negative thing. It's not a freaky woo-woo thing. And so over the time period of my 13 years, when I stepped into this work, and it's a long story of how, but so if we have time, I might share it. But right now I want to focus on this part, that when now I am embracing everything that I do, but then now to know that I'm part of research and the sciences to say, hey, there are alternative ways to heal from your past. Now, I recently, and let's talk about what you had just mentioned. I recently read an article, a science article, that was proving that we are the end result of our environment. So an example is, you have a great grandmother who ended up with breast cancer, right? And then now she has a grandmother as a daughter, and now she's concerned that she gets it, and her whole focus is, I hope I don't get it, I hope I don't get it, and then she gets it. Mm-hmm. Then now we go to the daughter, which is the main daughter, to the great-grandmother, or to the grandmother and the great-grandmother, and she starts saying the same thing. Now you have three people that are all worried, one that started with it, one that was worried and got it, now the third one, oh my gosh, she gets it, and her grandchildren get it, and so on and so forth. Here's the caveat to this. If your focus is about the fear of, and it may be present in your life, or maybe like what I call in your backpack, something in the back of your mind, but you still have a little fear about it. When you have that fear that dwells and dwells and dwells, like I'm fearful of getting it, or I'm fearful I'll die early, or I'll fearful, whatever it is, then usually it happens because when we set our mind or our intent, quote unquote, to that thought, it's how much energy is placed on that thought that can create what it is that's happening. And it's been scientifically proven that we are the result of our environment.
And that is significant. And I don't mean to be rude here. I'm just making sure that we're, because we were talking about how this is just so much fun. And for some reason, I'm going to do a check with everybody because I'm seeing some really interesting things on my phone, but it might be your energy. Guys, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but let me show you what you see. This green right now, this is what my phone is showing the show looks like to everybody. Instead of seeing our faces. And so when I started seeing things like the chat stopped, I know we've got people. I'm looking at the numbers and I'm thinking, okay, it's not unusual when we do have people that have. So if
And
Helene, if you
vibrations.
yeah, vibrations. If, hello, Sherry. If you guys can please let me know if you can see humans or if you're seeing color. I would love to know because I'm not going to assume anything here. It's all good. It's all good. And we'll just keep talking. And if we have to reboot and start from this point on, we will, just to let everybody know. Okay, so in essence, what you are saying, and it goes along with one of the reasons that when we were talking that I started the nonprofit that I did is because of a journal article that was written in 2017 out of the UK, in that the science was showing that the heart and mind actually have something to do with the healing of the body, and the science and color. People are seeing
Both.
I can see both. Okay, so some are seeing color. Oh, this would be a good little study. Who's seeing color and who's seeing people? I love it. We're having some fun, guys. Love it movement on the crawl here. So let's report who's seeing people, who's seeing color, and we'll just keep going with it. Let's have some fun. And that the science is really starting to catch up, and that's when my doctors, they were the ones to convince my doctors and nurses convinced me to go and do something like what we're doing, because it needed to be done and they couldn't because of the HIPAA laws. And you have to, you're very involved. You've had to be checked, thoroughly vetted, everything to be involved with the NIH, and that plays into what you're doing now. But I want to go into the future, and then we're going to go into the present, the future, because I loved it when I asked, okay, what post this period of time, what is it that you want to be doing? And you said, well, there's two areas, and let's go into it, because I loved your explanation.
So I was explaining that there were two answers to that. One was personal and one was collective. So personal is what, for me, within my soul. And then the collective was my family, my business, and everything, my environment around me. So personally, I was wanting perfect happiness. And when people hear the word perfect, sometimes, and it makes me laugh, someone always says somewhere, nothing is perfect. But I don't see it that way. I see myself as perfect where I am right here, right now. 10 minutes, I'll be perfect in that environment or whatever it is. But we all are perfect for what we've created, what we've done, what we're expanding and growing into for our desires and wants, right? And so I want perfect happiness. And perfect happiness to me is sharing my knowledge and being a part of helping, knowing that I'm making a huge difference. I want to make a difference, but to me, I want it to be so huge, and that's so important for my soul. And again, I talk about the soul. It's that inner calling, that inner yes, right? And then collectively, it's my children, my business. I want my business to thrive, because I work with the subconscious space. It's really about planting seeds to help people understand that I'm not just some freak of nature. I might look at myself that way, but there are, people are walking away from me saying things that make me cry, thinking how I've helped them and helped them in such a profound way, either face-to-face or remotely. There, again, no time and space with energy. I have clients all over the world. And so when I can be in that space to help people, when I'm taking my last breath, I will not say, I wish I would have. I will be saying, I did everything and more.
And I love this. And again, you guys, if you can be responding back to me, let me know what you're seeing. Because, this is so interesting. I'm looking at mine, and now I've got pink and red and black with some green up there. I'm sure the colors have something to do with something, because something told me just to look down there, and it only happens very few times. And I really do think it will be very interesting to see. But here we go. And I love this picture. When you're saying about, just bringing it all in and being in the moment and thinking about the future, but bringing it all in, and that you want to be big in what you do. Mm-hmm. That picture right there just says it all for me. It's like, yes, she does. And yes, she is. And let's see, Skip is saying, love it. Love the subject. Worked on it a lot in the field. Intuitive, mediums, psychics, medical intuitives, crime cases, TV shows was my fave. Skip is a Emmy award-winning documentary producer, director, videographer, and so these are the things that he's worked on for, he's been in that industry for a few days.
Nice.
And very, very well respected. And so this is so this is definitely in his well. And so Helene is telling me that she sees my face. Okay, thank you, Helene. Thank you. And Skip is seeing us both. How interesting is that?
Nice.
Okay, awesome. So this, I'm loving it. Love it, Skip. Also, amazing things. Okay, so let's get into that's the personal. Let's get into the collective.
Mm-hmm.
The collective.
Yeah, the collective. What's near and dear to my heart, besides the work that I do, are my two children. And we shared a special moment about what I'm doing with my oldest daughter right now, but to see that they thrive based on how I guided them.
Yes.
And they're 23 and 21 now. There they are, some amazing little beings, so truly talented and gifted in unconditional love, in what they do to help the world and what they see and how they're stepping into making themselves bigger, better, and bolder, right? So hoping and seeing that, they are successful and happy. Happy is happy, and that's what's most important, that they're both truly happy. And then my business, it's funny. I was thinking while I was getting ready for the show, when we're going to talk about what I'm currently doing, I started thinking, you know what, wouldn't it be interesting if, I'm not sure, I Skip would know these names, but Wayne Dyer, Esther Hicks, Eckhart Tolle, those larger platform people that have been around a very long time in the spiritual realm. And it's quite interesting from all of the experience from, I've been on Bravo, Hay House Radio, and many, many podcasts and TV shows, radio shows, that here you have, an example, Esther Hicks walking and knocking on your door and delivering something to you. And I kind of look at myself like that.
Right. And we're going to get into that in a moment. And then we're going to wrap it up with, I want to talk about your book, but I want to get into what it is that you're doing right now. And Christopher Kaysen, I'm glad you're with us. Again, another one I wanted here. So glad you felt it and you're here with us. Awesome, Terri. Thanks, unconditional love is a great gift to teach our children, our kids. So true, Absolutely. So true. So, all right, now let's get to this. Guys, if I get a little teary-eyed, just go with it, because yes, here's this woman that she's been, flown here. She's invited to be on these stages as a VIP guest. She's, in a main line. She's been on everything. She's, all that, if you will, in a bag of chips in her area of expertise. And you felt different. You had a feeling. And with that feeling, you explored it and did something with it. Let's go there.
Mm-hmm. So when everything started shifting in the world with the virus, I can feel big time, the entire world. And it can affect me. I know it's not mine, so I don't own it. But being in the human form becomes overwhelming. And so as we shared before the show, you know, the feelings that I had, and I'm zero political, zero, I don't follow it, don't watch it. But after the election, I woke up and I couldn't get out of bed and my phone was blowing up for clients, feeling emotionally distraught over the end result of the election. So I had to kind of walk them off the ledge so that they could feel more at peace within themselves. But when the world started shifting, I could feel this heaviness. But we all are in this human form, and our patterns are to go into our head. And it's just automatic, even with someone like myself. So I started thinking, I gotta make sure I stay out of my head. It's got to be, because I can find myself going into that vortex, going down like everyone else. There were moments that I was crying and I didn't know why, but I had a feeling it was the world feeling the fear of what's going to happen. What now? I kept hearing over and over again in my head, and I knew it wasn't me. So as I took the time to calm myself, I thought, what is it that I can do that I can help like I was helping, meaning my business and being the intuitive that I am. And as soon as we got the lockdown, my phone just stopped ringing. And I know it wasn't me because, you know, I have many people that are New York bestsellers and, you know, large platforms and TV and all of that. So I called them and said, what are you experiencing? And every single one said, my phone stopped ringing. I'm like, okay, great. Now I know I'm with the rest of them. Right. And then I thought, okay, in order for me not to go into my head, I have to keep busy. But this is me. I'm speaking for me. So in order for me to keep busy, what can I do? And then I just was guided to deliver groceries. And so I've been doing it for a month. And at first, the first week I did it alone. And I work between 10 and 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. And I do that. And so the first week I was doing it alone, and then I realized, well, again, connecting, my daughter's living in fear also, because both of them, one was laid off, like most of the world, and the other one, her job started going this way when certain businesses had to close. So I know they're younger and have less money, so I thought, okay. So I reached out to my oldest and I said, let's partner. So now what we do is we get up at 6:30 in the morning. We're at the grocery store at 8. The first 4 people will shop together for 4 people. Then I will drive and deliver, and she'll continue to shop so that when I come back, she's shopped for 3 more. I finish dairy and frozen. Then I deliver that, and we do it all day long. We start at 8 in the morning, and we usually get home at 7 or 8 at night. Every day. It's almost like going to the gym for 12 hours a day. I'm telling you, you're lifting milk and large soda cases and things that people are trying to find comfort and norm also. Mm-hmm. And so here, as you see us, you know, we do wear our masks. We do have to, you know, concern ourselves. At first we were wearing gloves and we realized you're just touching with your gloves in your hands. So with my glasses and hers, we don't touch our eyes, we don't touch our face, we wash our hands before we leave. But we both have very strong immune systems, but we still have a little concern. And so just recently, I live in a smaller community where there's 75 homes, and someone in my community was tested positive. And then my daughter started saying, were they grocery shopping, Mom? Tell me. And she wasn't. She actually was an older woman who had an existing condition. So, you know, it's not present for us, but again, it's like back here that we think we have to be very careful. But we realize that to us, the risk is less than others, and that we wanted to be part of helping in a profound way, similar to what I do with my business, while we all get through this crisis in the world.
Right. And so when you felt that heaviness, you reached out, got the confirmation. Okay. So now things are changing. You had been feeling that there was change coming. Change is here. Instead of, and again, it's everything that you talk about on podcasts and out there on the stages and in helping people. I mean, you had your own podcast for a long time, and then you've been a guest on just all over.
Mhm.
And so this is nothing new. However, when it's you, it's interesting how it kind of ends up being, okay, I know these things. However, it's me. I'm experiencing it right now.
Yeah.
So I have to, and then it's that moment in time, like, okay, you were saying, okay, you took some time, when we were talking, you took some time, you figured it out, and then you acted. And I really, really liked that too, because there's that being present, because you say that all the time, and being present and finding, that you're putting into practice everything you're about.
That's right.
And then the piece that got me, guys, of course, Christine, and Terri and her daughter, and she's Samantha, right?
Samantha.
Samantha. So Terri and Samantha, they're in the black masks. You are delivering now because you've been vetted and you have been approved and you can go on site. You now are going to the National Institute of Health and delivering to those that are extremely compromised and cannot go out on their own. And if the people that are there with them go out, that compromises them too. So it's a matter of, what do you do? And it's not easy to get vetted to go on to this property, correct?
No, I'm laughing because of the experience that I had. And I kept laughing and the whole time. And thank you for sharing this, because I said to myself, because I laughed, but I thought it was a very difficult situation. But I kept saying, I'm moving slow, everyone. My hands are up, because when you come up onto their grounds, you actually drive in through, it looks like a way station for trucks. But there's about 50 police officers in full uniform. No joke. Yep. And you have to get out of the car. They tear your car apart. Then you have to get into another line and they frisk you and they look at your purse and they do all these things. And then you get into another line and then you get a card to come on base. And then you put your car back together. And I went over to the one officer and I was laughing and I said, I survived. And she said, and I said, but I'm not coming back. And she laughed. She goes, no, we want you to come back. And I said, why? She said, because you've been one of the nicest ones. And I'm like, really? But I just had to laugh through the experience because, again, it's just an experience. It may feel uncomfortable, of feeling like it's taking too long or inconvenient. But what is inconvenience? It's a perception, right? And so I had to just say, okay, when they would, and they speak sort of almost like the people at the airport, pre-check, the TSA, right? Yeah. And they're stern, move here, move there. And they were kind of talking like that. And so open your purse. And I'm like, I'm doing it very slowly, everyone. We're all going to make it through.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I can relate because I have to wear a garment because of having lymph nodes taken out. I have to wear a compression garment and it always sets it off. So I just know going through, okay, they're going to have, and they always say, oh, you want to, I'm like, no, just right here. I got to go, just do what you need to do. And yeah, it's an interesting dynamic when you're in that because they're doing their job.
Yeah.
And this is a unique location, and this is one of many, but I thought full circle here because you were talking about the fact that you've been going there. You also, when you're going back and forth, 3 or 4 different laundry baskets or, people at a time, then you go to the house, you deliver it. And you were telling me about some of the things that you come up to. Why don't you share?
You know, I feel a lot. And some of the homes that have children in it, they were drawing pictures and putting it on the front door or on the windows. And the very first one, I was walking up, I'm getting emotional because I've delivered now twice to their home. And the pictures and the drawings on the door thanking all of the essential workers. Thank you for doing this for us. And it just went, wow, this is so surreal, you know? And then when I text them and say, okay, I've delivered. Thank you so much for your well wishes. And they would knock on the window and wave at me. And now it's becoming personal where they're like, I love your hair. Oh, how are you doing today? And things like that, that I feel like I'm making friends with repeated deliveries. And there are true hearts in this world that are really caring, not just on my end, but on their end too. It's just, and for the parents to help the children understand what we're going through and to be compassionate to the ones that are really trying to help, even though you don't see what we're doing to help. You know, seeing us spending hours picking your groceries when your favorite thing is not available. And believe me, it's not easy for us either. Not saying that it takes longer, but to know that someone really wanted this and it's not available. So to me, it's frustrating going, man, I know they really like this and want it. So then I have to think of something comparable so that they can feel like there's nothing going on. Because the first time I started doing it, the aisles were empty. I started crying, thinking, is it really like this, people? And it was. And so I had to understand that, you know, a lot of my friends were saying, well, maybe people are hoarding. And I thought, no. And a couple of my other very close friends realized that we're not eating out. So we're not hoarding. We're just eating at home more.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
And so
that makes complete sense.
That's right. And so now with the amount of people eating at home, the food chain and the grocery stores are really struggling to keep up. But what I've been able to do is I go in, I've made friends with all the staff from the produce, stocking shelves. They've got everybody in the front line at the grocery stores, from their cashiers to whoever, picking and doing the internal shopping for people so that others can deliver for the grocery store. But I've made friends with all and said, if you need anything, here's my cell phone. Let me help you pick things if I'm running around here for hours on end. But I'm also thanking them. I'm thanking them for the amount of work, because I see the shelves empty and the next day it's full. And I'm like, oh my God, they're working endlessly so that everyone is fed.
Right. It's huge. It's huge. And yes, I'm getting teary again, because here is Helene saying, the Chemo Buddies for Life appreciate you for all you are doing to help others. Because, and as you and I were talking about this, we get it. You know, in our community, those that are affected by cancer and those in active treatment right now. And as you and I were talking about some of the stories that, and we won't go into the details of them because they're in the closed group and I don't talk about it out in the open, who or what, but there are stories where, again, like those families at NIH that are in there for whatever reasons that they're in there for health challenges of one way or another. When you have the at-risk groups right now, and they're saying to shelter in place, and what that means is not go outside. We've heard from many of our people, their doctors have said, no outside, no outside right now. And there's a lot of different reasons why. At first we didn't even get it, but now we're getting it a little bit more. And so when it's that dramatic, and then if they are in a compromised situation, their support person, because they might have had a surgery, because surgeries, if they're life threatening and they can be life saving surgeries, they are still having them, so they need people to be with them. And so what you are doing is truly helping with life. I mean, this is where when you say, "Oh, I'm going grocery shopping for people," all day, and you were going to start 3 days, and then you went on to like 5 days, and you're taking today off because you needed a little bit of time to take some time off, right? You love it.
It's like I said, it's like going to the gym for 12 hours every day. And then you wake up going, whoa.
I have a muscle there.
I'm looking pretty good lately.
There you go. Hey, the fountain of youth can come in all sorts of different ways. So this, you guys, this, when I said that this was something that really, and the hearts are like going crazy. I can see it on my phone. I can't see it on the screen.
Thank you, everyone.
But yes, please share the love. Please share the love. Please share this out too, especially with any of our buddies that may not be here, if you want to share it out with them. And I want to just make sure that I'm staying up on everybody. We have my chat is not syncing up, guys, so I'm just going to make sure that I'm recognizing we have Lori with us. We have Jack Cohen.
Woo-hoo.
Happy to see you. I'm glad you're here with us. Sherry McQueen, Katie, good to have you here. And Rose, I'm happy to. We have people showing up. Put that energy out there. Lynn, I'm glad you're here with us.
Rock on.
And,
high five.
It's amazing what happens when you have a servant's heart. And now, and I want to go into. We'll come back to this towards the end, but I want to talk about your book because let me grab it.
Can I share it too? I got it right here. Oh yeah, you got it too.
Yeah. Go ahead, bring it up too.
I got it right here.
I love the image. I love the image, and the secret power of you.
Yeah.
A guide to mastering your inner greatness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I need to read it. It's like, okay, done. Because we all, right now, especially right now, we have, it's funny. I will say this, you don't really necessarily have a lot of the time. And, those that are serving others right now, because there are quite a few, and I want to thank you all, all of you that are serving others right now, because many are being called to serve, and you're showing up. The food services, absolutely a major, huge thank you. The truck drivers, people don't realize that they don't even have places sometimes now to go to the restroom because all of the fast food restaurants, they can't go inside. There's so many things that our system is not hasn't been necessarily set up for this period of time yet. Yeah. Then there's those people like you, Terri, that are showing up and are really, your inner greatness is shining through. And that's why I wanted to bring up the book now, because I really believe that the secret power of you, Terri, the secret power of those truck drivers, those secret powers of those grocery clerks that you're getting to know and love, that your daughters, the secret power of all of us.
Yeah.
It's that collective, when you were talking about the personal and the collective, right? Of going forward. So it all comes together in what you're doing. So let's talk about your book.
Thank you. This entire work and what I do, from every breath that I take, it humbles me. And so when I wrote my book, through the work that I do, I also teach intuitive development. So I empower people to connect to their own intuition, to trust it, to hear answers without having to push and control. And so when I wrote the book, that, you'll find that in the spiritual world, you'll hear downloads, that quote unquote.
Yeah.
And so throughout my 13 years in business, that I was receiving simple yet profound techniques that I wasn't reading, that it was just coming to me. May it be a flash in my mind or something I heard. And so I realized this energy work is really simple, my friends. Very, very simple. And I realized that, some people will drip feed it out or sell it in various different programs. But I live my world differently. Like, I wanted everything to be it all, know it all. I do. I wanted it all.
Let it big.
I do. And I'm living it all, right?
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Put that energy out there.
Exactly.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay. Right. Okay.
So when I wrote the book, I wanted it to be simple yet profound. I wanted to connect to your soul. I wanted you to understand that what you can do is easy. So I have simple techniques in there to help you see your limiting beliefs, how to shift them on your own. I have my own story in there of why I ended up on a spiritual journey, because my whole background was corporate. You'll find a lot of spiritual people started with a corporate background. Even I think Tony Robbins did, and I know he has spiritual part and then corporate motivational. So he does have two different ways that he goes. But, the more I connected within myself, I wanted people to understand that the answers that you seek are really, truly in you. You just have to trust and you have to see, meaning this is a lifestyle. If anyone follows me, you'll hear me say that a lot, that this being present and mindful and trust and truth and great gratitude and all that, it's a lifestyle. And so when you're living that lifestyle, that is the secret power of you. And so when you want to shift out of some of the old, what are you telling yourself? Or you're having a pattern of the repetitive lack, or can't let go of something, or attracting the same type of person that you don't want in your life. So when you're saying, I don't want, where that energy is saying, I don't want, but you're actually focusing on the lack of what you don't want. So you end up attracting what you don't want. I know it's kind of crazy, but that's how it works.
Yeah.
So you have to really focus on what you do want. You have to really focus on hearing what you're saying, what comes out of your mouth, and hearing what you're thinking, what's in your head. So if you're saying to yourself over and over again, I can't do it, then you'll never be able to do whatever it is you want. So if you're saying that this is too hard, when are you going to be able to push the easy button? By saying this is easy. I wake up, and again, in the past month, it is emotionally and physically tiring doing what I do, but I'm getting something fulfilling in my soul. And so when I wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just spent the last 36 hours delivering groceries and shopping in the last 3 days, physically I'm going to be tired, but I don't say I'm tired. I wake up saying, I am fully rested. I am rested. I am fully connected to self. I'm feeling vibrant, alive, and free. And by the time I get to the shower, guess what? I'm feeling fully rested. But I believe it, and I keep saying it without a doubt. That's the secret. If you're having any doubt or any patterns of what you see, again, we are the product of our experiences. So if you have a parent that was always negative for 18 years of your life, then you are probably going to have some of that negativity. If you've had, love is pain and pain is love, where parents argued all the time, that's where I see that merry-go-round in many people. Then you're going to attract someone who's always going to cause you pain because you think that's love. And here's where I help you shift those patterns that were created, not by you, but your environment, and help you shift it so that you can have and be who you truly want to be.
I love this, and the fact that Helene just shared this, let me just tell you, is huge, and I want to thank you for that, because it really is, and we won't go into it too much, but the fact that right now we've got such an amazing group of people live, and please hashtag live and hashtag replay. Yes. And by the way, I had to grab it.
The easy button. Yes.
Wink, wink. Yeah. Okay. So, this is just amazing fun. And you guys, I would love in the comments for you to be sharing the love and the gratitude, and especially the buddies. I know that you have Helene and any of the others, because what Terri is doing right now, I wouldn't be surprised if others are going to see this show and say, you know, I have the time and I am strong. I'm well. I'm doing well. And I want to serve. And they may not have the skills or the job to be the truck driver at the grocery store or a frontline responder or nurse, doctor, you know, whoever, but they may be able to do something like this. I just think that it's extremely important for anybody that is feeling called to go where that calling is telling you to go. And so if someone was to say, okay, you're inspiring me, Terri, to be a service hero too. You're in the, you know, the greater DC area, and I'm on the West Coast, or I'm in the Midwest. I'm in Canada. I'm in the UK. We have people all over the place that will see this throughout the next 24 hours and beyond. How would they go about starting something like this?
Mm-hmm. So there's a couple of things. It doesn't necessarily have to be grocery shopping, because that is quite a experience. But what I'm finding that people are coming up with is making a huge pot of soup and taking it to a hospital. You know, because those frontline workers are exhausted, and they will take whatever it is that you're willing to give. You know, checking in on your neighbors. I have many of my neighbors. I live in a community where they're a little bit older, and you know, they've lived in where I've lived 30, 40, 50 years, from some of them, and they can't get out, may not have family because, you know, they might be single or whatever, and checking up on your neighbors. So if you have a little fear of what's going on, which I truly understand and respect, there are smaller ways that people, just by knocking on your neighbor's door, how are you? Can I get you anything? And then talking to someone such as myself, because I actually have a girlfriend who has an 89-year-old mother, and she's a little concerned about going shopping for herself. So she knows I'm at the store, so she'll text me her list and I'll grab it for her. I have a friend that same thing. I'll grab it for him while I'm there. So if you know anyone's doing it, it's okay to ask us. And we'll be more than happy to grab whatever it is that you need and bring it to you. But there are other ways, or, you know, spending a little more time helping the kids understand what's going on, even though the parents, the parents are doing their best so that the kids are not living in fear. But then to talk to them, help them understand that these are the things that can happen, and that how we can take better care of ourselves so that we don't get sick, you know, or to be able to know that there's life outside of the walls. You know, I see them running around and playing with their bikes, and they are social distancing. So I
right. But still, you know, yeah.
I mean, we're not hugging anymore. I was at the grocery store and I was freaking out because I had so many orders, and I thought they were putting 2 orders together. And so I started freaking out. I'm like, are you doing it? No. And they had to say it like 4 times. And I looked at the woman. She goes, Terri, calm down. And I said, I just need a hug. For someone who is always connected emotionally and physically, because I don't shake hands. I hug people. And I always tell them when they put their hand out, no, I'm a hugger. Is that okay? And then to have that stopped, it's like I feel like something has been taken away from me. And so to have that where you can't hug anymore, it's like, what? I need a hug.
I think a lot of us are feeling that right now. I think there's a lot of people right now that are in the same thing. And however, with that said, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of time in just a moment, but with that said, one thing that you said at the very beginning, and you said when we were talking on the phone, you've repeated it over and over, and I really want to go here now, and that is that the energy, you know, of love, the energy of that hug. Even if we can't right now touch each other, we can be sharing that energy. And quite honestly, I'm seeing it with the names that are showing up, guys, that there's so much power and love and frequency and everything with when you have that intention to call upon, like, okay, I want certain friends here, and the first name was one of the ones I had in my mind. And that to me is saying, okay, we may not be able to do the hugs right now, but we have something that's pretty powerful, and we keep getting the miracles that we can actually see it's real, right?
Yeah,
It goes
yeah,
back
yeah.
to it is proven with science, and we
Exactly.
went there already, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, so as I'm gonna drop down from the line right now. I'm gonna let you just spend a few moments, share a nugget, a few thoughts. You're an intuitive. What do you feel this group right now may want to be hearing from you?
Mm.
And then I'll come back up and we'll close out the show. And already, guys, I've already gotten a commitment. She's going to put all of her contact information and how you can get a hold of her and everything, because I know you're going to want to, in the comments, and we'll do that too. Okay, so I'm going to drop down.
Awesome. Thank you. I started thinking about what we are dealing with in the world and within ourselves. And the number one thing is you have to trust the unknown of where you're going, what you don't see as your end result, where you think something could or would happen. If you could just simply trust in the unknown, that it all works out in the best interest of our highest self or our highest purpose. We are all here to expand and grow. Everything else is a choice, everything. But as we expand and grow, we're growing within our soul to allow ourselves to be more connected and free in who we are. Each one of us are all different. We're a little nugget. Look at the little granular piece of sand on the beach. We're all those little pieces of sand, but collectively we're all that one huge beach. And we're all beautiful when you think of it and look at that beautiful beach. But when we're trusting in the unknown, there is where your lifestyle kicks in. Are you positive? Are you making sure that you are mindful of your thoughts and knowing that it's in a positive frame, or desiring things, not just a physical thing, but the end result of something positive? Seeing more love, being grateful for everything around you. When you're completely grateful and you're living in the space of, I have everything that I need and more, then the universe says, ooh, let me give you more. And when we're living in that true sense of gratitude and trusting and loving who we are, there are no voids in your life. You don't feel like you have to take love from the outside and pull it in, because you already are love. You don't feel like you have to stranglehold the end result, because you're trusting the unknown that will work out for your best and highest good. So if you can live in that space and know that there are alternative ways to help you to pull out of some of the lack or resentment or troubled thoughts, and give people like me a chance to try to help you in various different ways that you never thought possible. And if you have thought this, well then, if it resonates with you, then take action on it. Because if you sit on that lily pad forever, guess what? You're still sitting on the same lily pad. So it's time to jump off, expand and grow, and know that everything and anything around you is supporting and loving you endlessly. If you trust and know all of that, my friends, then you are in perfect happiness. Truly, I'm honored and I'm grateful to be here. I'm very honored that I was nominated for this. I'm truly guided by my inner soul, because I really am here to assist in every way possible. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to share everything that I have. I love you all.
That was beautiful. Beautiful. I treasure the words that you just shared. I know that many were probably thinking, "Oh, she said that just for me." Well, I'm one of those just for me. It's all of us collective, because the collective right now, we're all in this together, and we all are going to get through it, and that's what's so beautiful. And I appreciate the reminder of trusting the process. That all is going to be okay, and to believe, and then to, truly be that love. Our community already, we actually determined at the beginning of the year, the 2020, that this is the year of love. And we had already put that out there. And so not long ago, I actually declared it to be the decade of love, because I figured we could use that extra bit, right?
Yes.
So there you go. All right. So as we close today, April the 26th, 2020, the Service Hero Show, 365 Days of Awesome, Celebrate Success Through Service, I want to say to you, Terrie Christine, you truly are a service hero. You and your daughter today, yesterday, tomorrow, in the here and now, for what is happening in our time, you have found a way to serve others in such a huge way that I want to personally, as the president and co-founder of a nonprofit that serves people throughout the world that are affected by cancer, I want to say personally, thank you for your service, because it is huge. And everything else that you taught us, and the time you spent with us, truly a gift for us all. So
I get very emotional, so thank you. I'm not afraid to share. It warms my heart. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And it was very, very heartfelt. I know my buddies are with me on it, and yes, and I love it. We're going to leave it with that. Helene helped to welcome us, and she is going to have the way that we go out, and can't be any more appropriate than love it. All right, go out and make it a great afternoon, guys. And then the buddies, back to the community tonight. It's game night. Game night at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. Come to the chat. We're going to have some fun. All right. See you guys later.
Peace out.